All right, good morning, good afternoon. Hope you're having a great day. Listen, before I get started, I just want to say this. It's almost the 4th of July, so if you're not in the United States, you may not understand this, but we're going to celebrate our Independence Day. But the reason I'm mentioning that right now is because if you hear explosions, that's because sometimes people start lighting off fireworks early. So that's that. Okay. Listen, I want to talk about something today, about how David faced a very, very extremely difficult time in his life. And we see this in a time when he is running from Saul, who is the king of Israel, taking a huge number of men to chase David down. And on several times, he barely escaped. But God over and over and over delivered David from the hand of Saul. But on an occasion, he runs into this cave. Um, and in this cave, he records a prayer that eventually he put to music, and it's in Psalm 142. But I just want to read a couple of verses from this because I think it is one of those things that we need to remember the power of the power of God in meeting us where we're at. The Lord understands us, He knows our frame, and He is able to meet us where we're at and to strengthen us where we're at. So listen to this. I'm going to read in Psalm 142. I'm going to start in verse 3. The whole psalm's only 7 verses long, but it says this: Although my spirit is weak within me, you know my way. Along this path I travel, they have hidden a trap for me. Look to the right and see no one stands up for me. There's no refuge for me. No one cares about me. This is where a lot of people find themselves, at least feeling this feeling. I think sometimes we forget how many people are actually out there, you know, willing to be alongside us to help us in our struggles and our battles. But there are times where people feel this feeling for whatever reason. Our heart's deceitfully wicked. Our feelings cannot be trusted. Okay. I'm sure you guys all know this, right? Anybody that thinks about it for a few minutes realizes the truth of it. But he is going through this place where he is literally alone in this fight. Of course, he's got some guys with him, but it feels completely isolated because he's literally on the run as a fugitive. And then in verse 5, he says, I cry to you, Lord. I say, you are my shelter, my portion in the land of the living. So in this process, here's the thing. And I think this is the thing that we have to realize so often, that when we get to that point of feeling completely isolated and alone, we have to, in that moment, remember to go to the Lord, to redirect our thoughts, to realign the place of our heart, that we find our refuge in the Lord. Okay? It would be so easy to trust in 100 different things, right? It would be so easy to just say, why doesn't somebody come along? Honestly, this is what's happening in our world today. Governments are coming along and rescuing people from this or that. And the government should look after its people. Okay, I'm not faulting that. But what I am saying is, when you get to the point where you're putting your hope and your trust in the government, in a man, in some system, in a scheme, and who knows, right? Winning the lottery or any of these things. When you do that, what's happening is you're putting your trust in something that is not trustworthy because it's something that's earthly. He's saying here to the Lord, you are my shepherd. This is a reminder for his own brain, for his own heart. Or you are my shelter, my portion in the land of the living. We can look and we say, it's all going to fall apart and I'm not going to make it. But honestly, we can look at it and say, well, except God is there to carry me through this. And then he says, listen to my cry, for I am very weak. This is the same guy that sometime before that, when they came back from battle, they were saying, Saul killed his thousands and David his tens of thousands, right? But he's really talking in this state of just being on the run and being alone. He says, I'm very weak. Rescue me from those who pursue me. They are too strong for me. This is a reminder to us, I think. Listen, our rescue is found in the Lord. And we are in the same boat because, honestly, our enemy now is the devil himself. He is too strong for us. We can't fight him in our flesh. We have to rely upon the strength of God to overcome and to walk in victory. That's why in Ephesians chapter 6, it says, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. So this is just a reminder to all of us. We need to make sure that our hope is in the Lord and that we are trusting in the power of God to deliver us from whatever the thing is that we're facing, to deliver us from the traps of the enemy, to deliver us from our own heart and our own mind that often tells us lies, okay? We have shelter in the Lord, and being sheltered is very comforting. It's a place of hope and it's a place of rest. So I hope that blesses you today. May the Lord give you wisdom as you consider these things. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please, if you haven't yet, like, subscribe, and please leave me a comment. And I will see you again tomorrow. God bless you.